And hopefully you will be able to see. Right, so thank you. I'm here, and it's a pleasure to be here to talk to you about the Clinical Genome Resource. So ClinGen was launched in 2013 by the NHGRI as a funded resource dedicated to building an authoritative resource that defines the clinical relevance of genes and variants for use in precision medicine and research. It is part of 3 independent U24 grants that are combined with Broad Geisinger, UNC, Stanford, and Baylor. And so the key goals of ClinGen are really to be able to first aggregate, which would be collecting and sharing data about genes, genetic conditions, and causal variants. This can be just collecting within biomedical literature, but also collecting data on patients through our Genome Connect. It's also for us to be able to curate. As we get this data, we need to actively analyze the data to be able to produce this public resource of clinically relevant genes and variants. And this includes also being able to develop systematic and structured ways to be able to collect this data, as well as semi-quantitative metrics to be able to assess a points distribution for consistency. We also want to be able to disseminate all of this information that we are collecting, including all of our frameworks, our tools, and training materials, and share these within our clinical genome website, which I popped into the chat. It's also being able to share these standards and expert assertions across many different areas and allow that to be openly accessible for individuals to use. And lastly, we want to be able to evaluate and improve as we are collecting more and more data and we are reviewing more gene-disease relationships, variant pathogenicity, dosage, and clinical actionability. We want to be able to assess those different classifications and be able to evaluate them and improve those standards as we move through. So as of mid-March 2022, we are fastly approaching 2,000 contributors over the last almost 14 years, and that's including 46 countries and territories around the globe. But as you can see, we still have many gaps within our map here, especially in Africa, and we would love to be able to fill in these gaps to get more increased participation and collaboration with individuals. When we think about just the progress that we've made over these past 8 years, we have grown to now having 88 active expert panels. This includes both gene and variant curation expert panels. You can also see the number of unique genes that have at least one curation over the topics that do look at gene curation, and the number of variants that we are moving to for pathogenicity. These are our separate curation activities. And again, if you go to the clinicalgenome.org website on the statistics page, you can see how these numbers are growing and be able to access this information. So getting involved, we would love to have more people to get involved here. And we actually have a dedicated group called the ClinGen Community Curation, or C3, and it serves to engage, identify, train, and assign individuals to ClinGen expert panels and working groups. This was launched in 2018. So over the last 3 years, we have trained at least 471 individuals, of which almost 300 of them have been assigned to curation groups across there that we've retained. If you have any interest, please scan that QR code. I'll also pop something into the chat. But last year, when we conducted an H3Africa combined workshop, we had at least 10 individuals indicate that they had heard about ClinGen through this workshop, and 5 went on to be trained and assigned to groups. So we definitely love increased participation from all of you. If you want to join, again, as experts, biocurators, etc., please go ahead and think about signing in for that survey. What's nice is that we also understand that for many people, and being able to join our expert panels, that is obtaining on calls, don't hesitate. Just if you think that there are time differences that would make this not approachable, please sign up. Many expert panels are willing to work with individuals. But even still, we decided to launch a different effort called the Baseline Annotation through our C3. It focuses on annotating the biomedical literature in a standardized form that's readily usable by all of our expert panels. In fact, we've now brought in all of these web-based annotations into our variant curation interface. So anyone using that interface that has a variant of interest, if there are annotations, there will be a link to that. What's great about this process is that it's autonomous and it's self-regulated. And so you can choose to annotate at any time you find convenient for yourself. And so again, thinking about designing this for individuals who may have conflicts participating directly on group calls, but you may want to contribute to these efforts. So far, we've trained 127 individuals and 86 of them have been assigned to annotate. I'm going to pop in that chat again if you want to find out more information about baseline annotation. I just want to emphasize too that in being part of a ClinGen, there are many educational and professional opportunities that any of you can participate in. In general, anybody, whether you're part of our expert panels or working groups, can go to our website and have open access, freely available materials, including all of our training modules for our curation activities. You can also have access to our BioCurator working group educational materials webpage. This will go over some of our different materials from Nomad, for instance, that came on, and I believe Anne O'Donnell gave a talk. We also have different resources like GTEx and Ensemble come through just to be able to let us know about the newly developing skills or even just newly developing tools within their particular entities. We also have a great YouTube channel that you can access, again, to be able to see other recordings, training materials, and workshops. And then our website has access to all our curated assertions that are published from ClinGen expert panels and working groups. So even being able to use that information, and many of them, like our ClinGen allele registry, you can go to look up variant IDs and download things by API. For those of you that really want to join expert panels, and we would love to have you, or working groups, in addition, you'd be able to join those BioCurator work group calls and participate on them. We also have monthly ClinGen consortium calls that bring in, again, updates to what's going on within ClinGen, within different working groups, expert panels, but we also bring in outside entities that focus on curation and genomics and precision medicine. You also might have that opportunity to participate in semi-annual clinical domain leadership meetings, so you can hear how we're really moving forward in ClinGen as an entity. It's also a great opportunity to think about interaction and networking with individuals that have shared interest in genes and/or diseases. And being part of these expert panels, you will definitely create a network of collaborative experiences. It also gives you that opportunity to join additional expert panels and working groups. And then really thinking about either for yourself or any of your junior colleagues, being a part of these expert panels and working groups does bring the potential for authorship and collaboration. And certainly in some instances, potentially even funding as we look at stakeholder partnerships as well as U24s. Caveat on the U24 expert panel being it is NIH funded and needs an American co-PI for that, but we are extending those funding opportunities to be able to conduct these expert panels. I'm going to go ahead and try to pop in the links for the different ClinGen activities, as well as those BioCurator educational materials and so on, in case you're interested. And also, if you just want to stay connected with ClinGen and know what's going on within our space, we do have several social media outlets, including our ClinGen mailing list. Anyone can sign up for that. I just popped that into the chat. So please, if you're interested in knowing about updates for ClinGen, you can go ahead and sign up for that mailing list. We also are active on Twitter and Facebook accounts. You can see down here the ClinGen Twitter page, so definitely consider reviewing that, looking over and retweeting or finding out our updates from these different social media outlets. And again, I just really want to emphasize, please help us fill the gaps in the globe. We would really love to have additional participation at any level that you all feel that you can serve. So if you have any interest, please go ahead and scan that QR code. You can also make it to our survey to different links I added into the chat. There is a part of the question on that survey for demographics that indicates you heard about us from H3Africa. That will just be able to help us track where you've heard from us. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you. And if you have any more additional questions for ClinGen about participation or different efforts, you can feel free to email one of the following emails here. Thank you.